Okay, we're going to assemble the cylinder head, and you saw how it came apart in a different video. What we've already done is we've already lubricated the shaft of the valves, each one of the valves, and put them in there. And so basically we're going to go back together reverse of the way we came apart. So I've got CJ with the spring compressor, and we'll go ahead and start assembling the valve springs. The thing with the valve springs is you need to make sure that when you're lining them up, I'll see if I can get a little bit closer here. So when you're lining them up, just make sure that when you go to put the spring compressor on there and actually compress the spring, that the spring is actually lined up with the valve right here. So just keep an eye on everything as you go together and it'll be fine. One of the little tricks to getting these keepers to stay in place is you can either use a small magnet like we're doing here, or you can put a little bit of grease on the end of the keeper, and then it sticks it right to the shaft of the tip of the valve. Okay, we're going to try this with grease this time because the keepers kept falling off. So this is just little white lithium grease, and it should stick the keepers right on the end of the valve so they stay on there. They on there?
Yep.
Okay, then we release very slowly to make sure that the spring comes off or doesn't fly off of there and the keepers stay in place. Let's take a look and see. Yep, they're in place. I don't know whether this step is actually in the textbook or not, but this is a small step that one of the guys that mentored me years and years and years ago showed me, just to make sure that these keepers are seated. Just take a hammer and just tap on each one of them. When you're done, what that does, it just pushes them down and makes sure that everything is seated in the way it is supposed to. Because on the end of the valves, if you notice on these valves, there's 3 grooves on there, and the keeper needs to go into the grooves like that. And it's real easy to get the keeper offset just a little bit like this, and then they don't seat well. And first of all, you'll be able to notice, because see the tip of the valve's not sticking up like it should. When it's seated in there correctly, you got the tip of the valve sticking up that holds that in there. So that's kind of what we were looking for, and we want to make sure that those things are seated in there so they won't come off while you're driving. So we've got it assembled and everything looks good. So that's what they're supposed to look like when we're done.